They're everywhere in ads, news, political debates, and even in our own daily conversations. It simplifies a complex issue down to a black and white choice. Life is rarely that simple. When you hear an argument based on popularity, put on your critical thinking hat. Ignore the crowd and look for the actual evidence. Is this idea good because it's popular, or is it popular for other reasons like great marketing? Now for a fun one, the anecdotal evidence fallacy. This happens when someone uses a personal experience or an isolated example instead of a sound argument or compelling evidence. For instance, someone might say, "Smoking isn't that bad for you. My grandfather smoked a pack a day and lived to be 95. That's a memorable story, but it's just one story. It completely ignores the overwhelming scientific evidence that shows smoking is extremely harmful to health. Anecdotes are powerful and persuasive because they're personal and relatable, but they aren't data. A single data point, or even a few, can't overturn a large body of scientific research. So, when you hear a story used to prove a point, remember the difference between an anecdote and evidence. Let's tackle the burden of proof fallacy. This is when someone makes a claim but then asks the other person to prove it. That's not true. Instead of providing evidence for their own claim. It's like saying, "I believe there's a teapot orbiting the sun between Earth and Mars. Prove me wrong." The person making the extraordinary claim has the responsibility, the burden of proof, to provide evidence for it. It's not up to everyone else to disprove it. This tactic is often used to support unfalsifiable claims, things that are impossible to disprove. So remember the rule: he who asserts must prove. Don't let someone shift the burden of proof onto you. If they make a claim, the onus is on them to back it up. So we've covered a lot of ground: ad hominem, straw man, slippery slope, false dichotomy, appeal to authority, bandwagon, anecdotal evidence, and burden of proof. This might seem like a lot to remember, but you don't have to be a master overnight. The first step is just being aware that these fallacies exist. Start listening for them in conversations, in the media you consume, and even in your own thinking. When you spot one, you can gently question it. Ask for evidence. Ask for clarification. Point out the flawed logic. Using critical thinking isn't about being argumentative or negative. It's about seeking the truth and having more productive, honest conversations. It empowers you to understand the world more clearly and to build your own beliefs on a foundation of solid reason, not shaky fallacies. Practice makes perfect. Try to identify at least one fallacy this week. Maybe you will see a false dichotomy in a political ad or hear a family member use an anecdotal argument. The more you look for them, the easier they'll be to spot. This skill will not only make you a better debater, but also a more informed consumer, a more engaged citizen, and a clearer thinker. It's a true life skill. Thanks so much for watching today's deep dive into logical fallacies. I hope you found it helpful and empowering. If you enjoyed this video and want more content on critical thinking and communication, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next video. Drop a comment below with a fallacy you've encountered recently. I'd love to read your examples. Until next time, stay curious and think critically.